Ta-da! It's Tuesday, and it's Tim and Katie's Tuesday.
It's actually kind of a wild Tuesday because it's Mardi Gras, it's Lunar New Year, and it's the start of Ramadan all today.
I'm glad you came prepared with that fun fact because I had no idea about any of that. I mean, like the theme parks are doing Mardi Gras, so I guess that tracks.
Yeah, but today is Mardi Gras.
Mardi Gras.
Tomorrow's Ash Wednesday.
All right, y'all. We, as we have for the past couple of live streams, we're continuing the Making Monster series, and that means we do have a special guest waiting in the wings. So I don't want to drag out our opening banter too long and leave them hanging. Are we good backstage? Looks like we're good. We have the thumbs up. All right, we're bringing on our special guest for the evening. Everyone, please meet our good friend Matt Tillett.
Woohoo!
Welcome.
Thank you.
It's a little loud.
Can everyone hear us over the music? I feel like
it might not.
Every live stream is the first live stream in terms of like total unpreparedness.
I think that's better. I felt like it was a little loud.
I like the music. I feel like I'm in a queue line for a coaster.
It does feel very Dark Coaster, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
It feels like an unauthorized knockoff, but like royalty free. So even better.
That's cool.
All right, who do we have in tonight? John from Dark Acres.
John, long time no see.
Who we've now confirmed as a future guest of the program.
Woohoo!
So
nice.
You all have to hold him accountable. He has to show up. Brittany.
What's up, Britt?
Much.
Britt in the house. Thank you for joining us.
I keep meaning to update that intro, by the way. It's supposed to change every year, and I too have been in a creative slump, so I have not done it.
Oh, it was fun.
I like it. It's got energy.
The song stays the same, but he usually adds like clips from a little bit from the previous year. But it's got good memories.
I like to like kind of build like a cumulative, like since the beginning up to now. I hear like completely random clips from our journey as I was going to say filmers, but that's not quite the right word. Vloggers.
Man, it could have been filmers. I guess.
It's been a long day.
Someone decided on
just
vloggers.
Keeps going. And you have quite a few fans.
Aha!
Hey, Ken Crystal. Oh yeah.
Yes.
All right, y'all. So the Making the Monster series, if this is your first time tuning in, and if that is the case, welcome. You're in for a wild night. The Making the Monster series is basically our way of kind of highlighting, spotlighting different people in the haunt industry, usually trusted friends, but also people who we've worked with, like actually worked with, people who are in positions to kind of play a role in the haunt beyond just scare acting, which nothing wrong with scare acting, of course. And most of the people we've had on are also scare actors, but they also play kind of functional roles in how the haunt works. And we're very interested to kind of pull back the curtain and see more of that. So it's an opportunity for people to kind of see what goes into putting on these haunted attractions. And we do this in preparation for Transworld, which I know a lot of our haunter friends are going to. We are not, but we are going to East Coast Haunters Convention, which is the follow-up show in April. And that is about to take over the whole feed. So Matt is a veteran in the industry. We actually met you when you were at Laurel's House of Horror, and that was kind of our first exposure to you and your work. And back then, I think formal title was technician or lighting.
Yeah. They would call me for a little bit. They called me the operations manager, but I always just went with like tech, lighting designer and tech.
Like I was gonna say the
classic,
guy,
like theater,
the guy with the headlamp.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh yeah, no, I was born with it.
We knew you, the guy with the headlamp. And since then, you've taken a whole new role on with Final Bell Haunted Schoolhouse, which had its maiden voyage earlier this season.
Yeah, I had the opportunity to take a deep dive and being a co-owner. So there's a lot about this business and industry I've been wanting to learn for a long time, and this deep dive kind of is that way of doing that.
Baptism by fire.
Yeah, definitely way scarier than walking through any haunted house I've ever been.
Oh, 110%. Yes, absolutely.
But, I mean, it's fun. It's cool. It's rewarding. But definitely scary.
I like to think that, and we'll get to all this for sure because we have tons to talk about tonight. But like, I like to think that like every experience you have in the haunt industry, whether it's just like the first time picking up like a shovel or a hammer or something, and then actually going and like running a haunt, like it all kind of is terrifying initially, and some of it gets harder as you go, but like at the end of the day, you're going to walk away with so much experience. Like you can do anything once you've managed the haunt. Like there's nothing you can't do.
Yeah. You could walk across burning coals.
Literally, like there's no experience that haunting doesn't prepare you for. I have
Britt's got
asking a selfish question, quote unquote.
Well, that was a question, so yes. Okay. Yes, please ask questions.
Yes.
We have some prepared, but if you've got a burning question for Matt or for us, yeah, put it in the chat.
And while y'all are typing any questions that you have, I do want to take this brief pause to shout out our socials. For anyone who's not already following us, our main platform is YouTube. That's what we're on now, so that kind of makes sense. Facebook, YouTube, and Blue Sky, our handle is Tim and Katie. The real Tim and Katie's our handle on Instagram and Threads because someone else already beat us to Tim and Katie on that platform. And then timandkt.net is our website where we post opinion pieces as well as supporting SEO text for our blog, like our vlog, our video. Jesus, this is going to be a long night. Our actual video vlogs are supported by material on the website. That's what I was trying to get to.
Yeah, to eventually.
Oops.
Oh gosh, we're so close.
I'm
Okay.
telling you, man, every
day is the
live
first
stream
day.
is the first live stream. All right, before we dive into the questions that we've prepared, Britt's question, I want to be a haunt over eventually. What was your biggest challenge as a first-year pro haunt over, and how did you overcome it? Oh, we're diving right into the deep end.
Yeah, that's
Okay, here we go. Biggest challenge. I mean, there was a couple. Obviously, the time frame of this new haunt was not in our favor, but we somehow did it. So regardless of time, just don't sleep. But for me, it was managing realistic expectations, and just as time goes, seeing like, oh shoot, I have these 3 days left. I need to simplify this, and this in order to get this done, so I can move on to this. So that was definitely a big thing I learned the past several months, was just kind of like taking a step back and simplifying and just changing how it's going to be right then and there, and living and being like cool with it. Because at the end of the day, after the season, after any off-season events, there's time to go back and redo stuff and reconfigure and rework. So that was my biggest thing. Like specifically, like when Carlos said we were going to have a dark maze, I was like, no. And then I saw there was a week left, and I was like, okay, yeah, let's just do it. We're doing a dark maze.
Maze it is.
So
That's his consolation prize.
right. So stuff like that. Obviously, with that quick turnaround time, we didn't have the time to like really market to the community and go do as many community events that we wanted to. So there was an effect on throughput, but given the people that we had, I think it was a pretty good start. So like the first couple weekends, I started beating myself up, but then I changed my expectation, and then I realized like, hey, because of A and B, this is why this is happening, and it's okay because people still enjoy the show, and we already have X amount of people showing up and talking about it, so it worked out. So I definitely would say managing expectations was a big hurdle.
So you were like talking about your own expectations more than everyone else's right there. Like,
yeah. And then also, I guess another challenge is just I like to make sure people are happy. So I'll do whatever I can just to kind of go above and beyond to make sure everyone's happy and comfortable and feeling empowered and confident, because that ultimately is going to make a better show. So that I learned a little bit more as to how to go about that and how to keep it cool, even in like the most stressful situations, like when we didn't have power the first night of Slaycation. Kept it cool, even though I was kind of checked out. It wasn't like
I do vividly remember showing up and us being like, so like, where do you want us? Like, how can we position this to make
you know your way around?
You were like, I can't right now.
Yeah. But I wasn't mean. I wasn't like, oh.
Such a great show though. Like for I think as burnt out as you were at that point in the day, like it was such an amazing show. Truly.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. So I guess that would be what's up, Sapphire? I think that would be my multiple answers to that question.
It's a good answer.
Those are great answers.
Yeah.
We're gonna go, I think, all the way.
I was gonna say, I think we're gonna go backwards
to the best of our ability. We're gonna go on your whole haunt journey with you, but like in a concise way that doesn't take
down
a year and a half to get.
No, we'll be here till next Tuesday for sure.
I mean, yeah, that would fill a lot of content gaps.
It would. So this 75,000-hour live stream.
So to go back to roots. Can we start with this? Like, what is your current official job title, and what does that role entail?
So basically, now I'm a co-owner, but I also help run the show. I do all of the tech. Carlos and I will work together to figure out scenic design, placement of actors, and scenic detail and overall aesthetics. And then once that's all kind of nailed in, it's kind of on me to make sure that's working and operating every night. I do have an operation manager, Rob, who's amazing. He and I have been close friends for quite some time now. So if I'm actually troubleshooting something, he can actually go in and help with a customer or help with an actor who might be having an issue. But other than that, I kind of just get the show up and running. I go over the books. Carlos and I both work together on marketing. I also will do photos for social media, trying to get a little bit better about that. But yeah, pretty much everything in between.
On the social media front, we live on social media. That is literally our job, is to go and post things on social media technically, but it's even difficult to prioritize all platforms over one platform. When we long form content is obviously our bread and butter, and so Instagram, where short form content usually does much better, we barely ever get around to posting. It's probably our second most active platform, and then Facebook is kind of the redheaded stepchild.
Sure.
Sometimes we post stuff, sometimes we don't. Blue Sky, I think that it's been so long since I opened the app that it uninstalled
it's probably gonna make you sign in again, and you'll be like, "What's my password?"
So, it's hard, man, especially when you're wearing so many hats as an owner and an operator, and therapist, however many other things you have to do in a single night to go around and take pictures of everything. You really do need someone else to do that. And
eventually, I'm looking so forward to that day where I can hire somebody just to do social media.
Well, we only just this past year finally said, we need to actually probably pay a photographer to take professional photos of us, because we have nothing. Every time we go to a haunted house, the footage we get, sometimes we're in it, sometimes we're not. It usually turns out okay, but it doesn't really convey what we do.
Sure.
It's the same thing. The shoemaker always walks around in bare feet.
Yeah.
It's great for other people. So, and though for anyone who's just tuning in and missed kind of the introduction, Matt's talking about his role right now at Final Bell Haunted Schoolhouse, which is a brand new haunt in Hampstead, Maryland. In my opinion, one of the most remarkable quick setup haunts I think we've ever seen.
Yeah.
All pulled together in an insane amount of time, an insanely short timeline, through the talents of Matt and his two co-owners. If you haven't figured it out yet, it is something to behold. It is really, really
and
cool.
Such a cool, we have well-known haunts like Dent Schoolhouse or whatnot, but this is like 80s slasher movie meets haunt. It's
not just 80s, 70s.
Yeah, it's it's a whole time. It's it's got the history of the actual schoolhouse.
It's fun because also again it's more high school.
Yeah, exactly.
More teen-esque ideas, which is fun. It's unique, but it's also, I guess, from a haunt, very specific haunt perspective. If you're looking at props, that's almost like impossible. There's no like teen static props or teen animatronics. They're all like kids.
Yep.
So like other school related haunts look to me even better because they have all these kids as props. So eventually I'd like to figure out, maybe Carlos and I can make more teen looking mannequins and whatnot.
Well, I mean, that goes back to expectations. Like, you are still at this point in time a first year haunt.
Yeah.
It's not been a full year since open. So you have nothing but time in that sense to keep growing it out.
I want to make sure we're really selling the ideas clearly.
Yeah. Well, I think the theme was obviously there. The story, the kind of like cursed high school stuck in time is there, and really it was really fun. And I think I guess we'll talk about this eventually, but I do think you put together a fantastic team of actors who also really sold it.
Oh my god, they crushed it. I'm so thankful for all of them. They did such a good job.
This is pretty much just the live stream is just going to be us like doting on you about how cool. Rightfully so.
We do have our next question is kind of a throwback question.
Sure.
So, what drew you to the haunt industry?
So, I've always been fascinated with people wanting to go to get scared. When I was a kid, I was like, why would you ever want to do that? So where I lived in Timonium as a child, there was a swim club right down the road called Padonia Swim Club. And every year they did a big haunted hayride. And I had my sister and my cousin both worked it. And I remember them telling me about this. I was like, what? This is weird. I gotta go check this out. I was too scared to actually do it, but I would make my mom drive me to the parking lot just so I can sit in the car and listen to people scream. And I loved it. I don't know why. So that kind of was the first draw. And then I slowly, as I got older, started watching more horror movies and getting into that. And then I just fell in love with this idea of wanting to go scare people. And then I eventually did. So
I've noticed that story has a lot of overlap with others in the haunted. Like, a lot of people start out like terrified of everything, and then like it almost feels like you're overcompensating a little bit. Like, you're just like, I'm going to take control of the fear.
It's so funny.
I'm going to throw it back at other people.
Like, that's like, all you have to do is change it to the 4-H haunted house at Anne Arundel County Fairgrounds. And that's like my story. I was too scared to go through it. And I was hearing the chainsaws and I was like, no. And then the next year I was like, okay, I'm going to do it. And then I did like it. And that was my first like love. And I always loved Halloween and stuff. I just didn't want to be like so scared.
Sure.
Really, like, I got into it so much later. Like, I was 18.
I was
like 18.
You know the Orphan movie?
Yeah.
Something Wrong with Esther?
I've seen that one.
That was Isabel, I can't remember her name. Furman. Isabel Furman. That was her first real horror movie, and I made her watch it. It's really not even that scary as horror movies go. It's more, it's kind of in line with like Misery, so it's more like psychologically
it's
scary.
Definitely more like psychological.
She stayed up all night after the fact. She was like, I can't believe you made me watch
I can't stop. I was like, I can't stop thinking about that nun getting her head bashed in with the hammer. Like, that's like on that all night. And then, we warmed up to what the hell, Silent Hill, which I also couldn't
that
sleep
was an
after
incredible
watching
leap
that one.
too. Like that. Threw you into the Silent Hill long before you were ready for it.
So and then at this point, I've pretty much watched everything except like the Terrifier movies. Haven't gotten through those yet, but yeah.
No, I had like movie wise, I definitely had the similar path because I started with like The Grudge, which when I was a kid, like that did a little something.
It's
terrifying movie.
It's still scary today. Like, even when you know what's going to happen, it's so well executed.
I think the one after that, may have been The Ring. It somehow made the jump to Hills Have Eyes. I don't know how I made that jump.
Oh, I haven't crossed that bridge yet.
I have.
Yeah.
Great movie. And then this is funny. The 2003 Michael Bay remake of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre Oh my goodness, being a kid and just seeing those commercials, I
I
was
just watch the commercials.
and like where my house was in Timonium, I could hear what is that going up to Pennsylvania? Is that 895?
To Pennsylvania?
Yeah, the
Right by
83 North.
83.
Yeah.
Every now and then I would hear like this specific muffler on a car that sounded like his chainsaw. I would be like, nope, not sleeping. And then the day finally came where I watched it. It definitely scared me. I enjoyed it, but I definitely like was a little bit freaked out for another like week or two after that. Like my old house had my bathroom had a pocket door. Every time I would shower, I'd be like, oh shit, Leatherface is right there, man. And then one day it just clicked. I was like, just a movie. And then I actually went to use a chainsaw to cut wood outside, and I was like, oh, that's not scary. That's like that's a helpful tool that's just saved me a lot of labor. And then that eventually became like, oh, I want to work at a haunted house as a chainsaw guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say like that. I know that story's gonna end with you wielding a chainsaw in a haunted house because I've seen the photos.
That's the profile picture.
I know.
That's basically how it went down.
You're like Batman.
And then I was like, oh, Leatherface that's a good movie.
I remember, so I'm old enough that I used to watch like full movies on YouTube, totally free of charge in 8 parts.
Yep.
So like
I did that.
I would go and I would like When a Stranger Calls was one of my early like suspense movies that I love to this day, the 2006. I have it on Blu-ray. It's really hard to find now, and I'm really glad I have it because I watch it all the time. But that movie in 8 parts on a little screen this big, because I would not full screen it at the time. I was like, I'm gonna ease myself into this.
Yeah.
And then it does, like, it captivates you, like the thrill of like what's coming behind the corner in the same way that the roller coaster does. Like as you get to the top of the hill, it's the same ride. It just hits you a little bit differently because you're sitting on the couch instead of on a moving platform. And from When a Stranger Calls, it went to eventually The Grudge, which I loved, even though I was terrified of it. Mm-hmm. The Grudge 2 was one of the most terrifying movies I'd ever seen at that point in my life, and largely remains so to this day. It's really well done. Nice. And then from there, it was kind of like, what other ghost stories are out there? Like, how cool. And here we are many years later, roaming haunted houses. It's our journey through haunt world is kind of recent. Like, it's not been that long.
That's so exciting though. I love that.
Yeah.
Still, there's so many things you guys gotta go see and experience.
Yes, so
100%.
That's all we learn about is how much we haven't done.
We'll never get to it all. That goes back to setting expectations. Like, I know I'm never going to get to everything, so I kind of gotta work through my bucket list.
Yeah.
Do the best you can.
So, taking it to the next step of your journey here, what was your very first role at a haunted house, and how has your journey evolved into what you do now? So, kind of half answered this with your early chainsaw days, but
kind of jumped a little bit, but basically first role, my buddy in middle school, his dad and him would put on a haunted barn for a couple weekends for the school. And he realized I liked to collect lights and had an appreciation for horror, so eventually I helped him light the show. I had like a little lighting console and like this little crawl space above the barn with a little TV with camera, so I can watch the people going through and like trigger lighting. That was the very first haunt role, and then I think that would have been like 2008. And then high school, I found a local volunteer haunt down the road from here at the old Naval Academy Dairy Farm. That's where I met Rob and his twin brother Jeff. And then I basically started volunteering there. I showed up.
Twin brother?
What's up?
There's a copy of Rob running around out there.
There's a Xerox of Rob running around that I don't know about.
Yeah, Jeff, you may have saw him. He's the EMT I have.
They're twins.
Whoa, hold on.
A couple minutes apart. Yeah. So they.
You know what? I see it now. I see it now. Oh, of course we know Jeff. I've hung out with Jeff. Jeff has gone through like Laurel with me like 4 times because I didn't want to go through by myself.
No, those two are like
they have
important to my core. Because
That's
those
crazy.
two owned the little haunted thing over here that I worked at in high school. So they owned that. I volunteered to be a scare actor. I wanted to be the chainsaw guy so bad, but they didn't let me. And then I saw this kid trying to start the chainsaw. He couldn't do it. I was like, I just took it from him. And I started it right in front of the owner. They're like, okay, you can run the chainsaw then. So that's kind of how that started. And that went through 2012. And then moved to North Carolina for college. And then I ended up volunteering primarily at one haunt that was about 30 minutes away from campus. It was called Wicked Whimsies. That was a fairy tale based haunted trail. Cool, really cool trail. Sweet people too. But we also, my friends and I, would go volunteer at other haunts that were open on like Sundays and Thursdays. So I ended up doing like Trotterville Horror a bunch. We ended up taking a trip out to another haunt called Dark Side Haunted Estates, where I had my first ever chainsaw queue line experience. And that's like where I found like, this is what I'm supposed to do as an actor. So that was a really, really fun, eye-opening experience. Then obviously stayed at those haunts through college. What happened after that? Graduated, but Bliss was still at the same college that we went to. So I would travel down on the weekends and still work Wicked Whimsies 2018, which was crazy. I didn't have to do that, but I did. Then 2019, Bliss moved up, and then we went back to some of the original haunt family from that the dairy farm haunt at a trail. They're still rocking and rolling. They do it for a local fire department, and they're really doing a good job. So I was there for like a year, and then Bliss and I walked through Laurel, found Alejo. And I was like, hey, here, I have a BFA for this. Let me know. I'd like to come and help out. Just send me a text or an email, whatever you want to do. And a couple months went by, got a text. That was it from there. I think that would have been what, late 2019, early 2020.
Wow.
I had no idea you were that recent.
I
mean, I know it was 6 years ago at this point, but like it.
Yeah, at least at Laurel, but like I just love that your first ever role at a haunt was doing trigger lighting and that was like that was like your future, doing like light shows and stuff.
I was like, oh, I could do this. Let's do it. That's what we knew and what we had at the time, and it was a lot of fun.
That's so cool. Wow, that I agree with Saf. This is some crazy
crazy lore.
Matt Tillett lore. What? How cool.
But definitely the college haunting was a lot of fun. Being able to like, there obviously everything was pretty separated, distance wise. So it was different friend groups and haunt friend groups, but even though they were separated, when all the haunts got together, there was a lot of love. I don't know if they still do it, but when I was in North Carolina, that whole community is really good about industry nights. So all these haunts will actually set up specific weekday shows just for other haunts to come visit. And being able to do that was so cool. I got to meet so many awesome people and had so many wild experiences. Like I've never been held at knife point before until those connections were made.
And there's a whole type of person that you'd say that sentence to them and they would be like, what's wrong with you? But in this industry, it's like it's the prized possession.
Oh no, it was sick. And like it was cool because like that haunt where that happened to me came to visit us the week prior, so they knew me and they recognized me right off the bat, and I just got thrown around. So the industry night thing was really remarkable, and I'd love to figure out how to do that in Maryland at some point in time. But North Carolina was cool. Maryland's been cool. It's just been a ride.
I like it.
So how many years in total from beginning of Haunt Journey to 2026?
2008, you said you started?
Yeah, I believe it was either 07 or 08.
So almost 20 years.
I think I only missed 1 year, and that was my freshman year of college, because I just didn't. I was really nervous. I was really shy. I didn't know how to make those connections, especially outside of campus.
Mhm.
That was the only year that the campus did like a small haunted house, so I helped with that. And it was only for like one night, which to me was cool, but also like a huge drag. So that was the only year I kind of missed haunting, minus pandemic, obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean that.
I don't feel like taking a year off counts against your like record as a haunter. though.
Yeah.
Like,
Dude, it gutted me. I've never felt so empty in my life.
Yeah.
Like I had all my stuff with me, like I had my contacts, so I would just like during October when I was in my dorm, I would just put my contacts in and like do my work and hang out just to kind of feel still involved, you know. But that for me mentally, that was kind of rough not being able to do that. But then I ended up meeting another friend at school who was local, who knew that Wicked Whimsy's trail, and then that's how I made that connection.
is that still a thing, by the way? Because I kind of want to like check it out.
Yeah, they're still rocking and rolling. They're only Fridays and Saturdays generally during the season. But Jen and Scott, the owners, they're amazing people. Jen, I'm assuming she still does it, but she was running a local theater department near there. And then Scott was an engineer for a company, so he could build really well. It was just a blast. The only thing I didn't enjoy was being outside.
Yeah.
Pfafftown, North Carolina?
Yeah, Pufftown.
Hofftown.
Puff. That is not how I would expect
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Pfafftown.
I also sometimes, at least when I was there, it's near Yadkinville, so I would just say Yadkinville. So.
Well, they are being followed now, so we're
Found them.
excited to check that out. John from Dark Acres, the Home Haunt, has a question about lighting for you. What lighting technique do you believe has the biggest effect on atmosphere?
To me, it's a couple of things. If you can have a light source that's realistic to the scene, like let's say like you're in a hospital, there's broken, hanging, dangly, flickering fluorescent tube lights. Like that, to me, that's a huge important seller. But also me being me, I really find textured lighting goes a long way, because when you don't have the opportunity to create texture through a real ceiling or something, you can mimic it with the proper lighting equipment, which is, to me, adds more to the natural world building, even though what we are doing is actually not natural at all. But we can help reflect these little elements of naturalism through lighting like that. So definitely realistic fixtures go a long way, and then basically gobo or template lighting are my big go-tos.
I genuinely love talking about lighting because I went to school for film, so I had to take classes in lighting. I know how to light a scene in theory, but I've never been like good at it.
Sure.
So I understand 100% of what you're saying about textures and how to light a scene and whatnot. But if I were to be left alone to my own devices and I'd be like, I want the scene to look like this, I would never be able to do it, because I can see in my mind what I want, and I cannot put it into action the way I want. And it always fascinates me when people are able to do that. And that doesn't just go for lighting. Part of my fascination with the haunt industry in general is just seeing people who can build things out of plaster and mold and do like
people who do that with scenery blows my mind. I can't think in shapes like that. I can
the
see
way that
I can see
Final Bell and Harrah's and
it's crazy.
One of my favorite lighting things, which I'm sure is so simple, and I'm not saying like you invented it or whatever, but I just always love turning the corner and seeing this, is that one, the hallway leading up to like the window section in Final Bell, where there's when like the mimicking moonlight is coming through that window. it's gorgeous every time. And even though obviously you don't have a moon out there, but however you've angled it, however you've set it up, it imitates the moonlight.
Yeah.
And I always think it always just looks so gorgeous. And if there's an actor there, they're lit from behind, so they look really, it's sinister and scary. And if there's not an actor there, it's just, a pretty creepy scene.
Yeah.
That's what I think about.
And kind of when an actor's not there, it's kind of unsettling because you're very much expecting an actor to be there, and you kind of knots your stomach when there's not one there.
Yeah, it's like I don't know.
It's like negative space working against you.
They're not there. Is that worse or better?
First of all, that window and the pile of stuff we had, and then I looked at that wall and all the space behind that wall. I was like, all right, we're going to do a window scare here. Because I could just, the way you guys are describing the light, I saw that instantly in my mind. I was like, all right, I want this. I don't know why I want it. Will it sell? Hopefully. But I just wanted that. And then Bill just carved it out and installed the window. And there we go.
Gorgeous.
Magic. Absolute magic. So this question, when originally written, I think was designed to kind of lead us down a natural progression, but we've kind of been taking it a mile a minute. So we'll say, when we say what drew you to the type of work that you do now specifically, I think we'll lean more into like the show running side of things as opposed to the work that you've done in lighting, which you've definitely done a lot, and sound design as well. But where you are as kind of like the co-owner and the showrunner of Final Bell Haunted Schoolhouse, what drew you to that position?
Again, it was definitely a huge learning opportunity. I don't know when I would ever have another opportunity or when it would ever pop up again in the future. That's why I kind of wanted to take it right there in the moment. But for so long, obviously doing operation stuff at Laurel, I had a blast. I think I wanted a little more. I think I want a little more stake, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Being owner operator, just again, because that for me was the better way and the quickest way to learn things. Just because that's also going to improve my decision and creative ideas later down the road. So that's kind of what drew me to that. I also just love haunts because once they're on, it's a machine. There's not, unless there's like a huge emergency, there's not like a whole lot you could do. Like if a couple lights go out, like I'll do my best to fix it, but there's no guarantee I can actually get it. So I kind of like that thrill of I might be able to go fix this real quick, and then it's fixed. It's just like a hoorah moment. But then there's also those moments where I can't do it and I have to wait. And it's just like, all right, well, we got to have some peace of mind. It's not the end of the world. Most people won't notice that. For me, it was to help build my own self and my own character and that whole sort of thing, if that makes sense.
Absolutely. Yeah. And for what it's worth, I obviously don't see and hear everything, but I have only heard glowing reviews of Final Bell from everyone. And that includes walking out of the building, hearing like teenagers talk about going through for the first time, and as well as haunt reviewers and people in our circle. Everyone loves what you guys have created.
Yeah, I'm really excited. I really think I'm really proud. I think we did a good job with the initial first draft. I'm really excited about the second draft though.
Of course. I know it was like a lot of times when an artist is showing off their art or their project and they know it's not finished yet, like all you can think about is all the things you want to do differently or change or add. But I'm glad you can sit in that spot and say that was a good first draft. It was. Yeah. I'm proud of that. I
did not accept it the first week, especially also the week leading up when Steve was down with his crew. And they walked through and Steve was texting his guys hey, you got to come with me this week and check this out. And they were telling me all this. And I was just like, dude, it's not great. It's going to get better. I promise. But I appreciate you for saying that. But it could be a lot better. But again, it came down to that first thing I was saying about what's the word? I'm forgetting the word.
Oh, that's a common problem on my end.
It was like the first question. Shoot, expectations. That's when I started changing my expectations and overall outlook, and it's just like, hey, it's a pretty decent show. People like it. That's what matters at this point in time. So, yeah,
I agree with this. Matt's too modest. He did such an incredible job. And that all season when we made like 4 or 5 stops in at Final Bell over the course of like main hunt season. It's technically our own haunt now, so and we love it.
Yeah, we got to build you guys like your own little lounge.
Absolutely. When we were popping in and out, and it's so close to Hera's Nightmare, so like jumping back and forth between Hera's and Final Bell was super duper easy. Mm-hmm. And we would, talk about how cool the builds were at Final Bell and try to give you compliments, and you would be like, well, that's all Carlos. And then we'd go to Hera's and we'd be like, wow, you guys did a really great job on Final Bell. And he would be like, oh, that's all Matt. Like, none of you know how to take a compliment.
That's okay. No, we were doing that. He and I were doing that to each other for like days, weeks. So, and we still do it.
Yeah. So, it's not bad to stay humble, but we will shower you with compliments, even if
rightfully so.
Even if you're not always willing to acknowledge them, that's fine.
So I want to touch more on lighting, because I know that's a big part of like where you came from, as well as sound design and a couple other things. But I also want to showcase some of these lighting setups you did for Final Bell, which I will take the live badge off so everyone can see it a little better. When we walked into Final Bell for the very first time, this was our lobby, and at the time as well, during main season, you had like projections on the outside of the building that were mapped properly to kind of display, bring people in. We had all the queue line area, the lobby that was decorated like this was so cool, and you had all these projections and all of these all this kinetic energy through light alone. And then actually going through the haunt, there's all these filters and all these textures and all these different colors for different scenes, and everything looks so unique and so cool. And it really, to us, and I honestly, like, I didn't start thinking about this really hard until post-season, but I honestly think it was some of the best lighting we've ever seen in a haunted house across the whole spectrum. Just because every scene had its own, it had its own vibe, established almost exclusively by color and light.
Yeah, like you see that in the picture with Tchotchke and me, with like that textured lighting that Matt was talking about, and then the next Professor Grossman here. The green lighting, the dinginess,
green for bio and mold,
disgusting bio lab. Like, it really does help sell the story. And these are same haunt, but obviously completely different colors and lighting. Tchotchke's whimsy and a little brighter.
And I should say too, like our photos do not appropriately communicate what your eyes will see, because they're all washed out and whatnot, but you can still see like some of the texture.
When you were mentioning like get lighting that's realistic, I remember how obsessed I was when we were in like is it the boiler? No, it's not the boiler room.
The boiler room is cool though.
Whatever it is, whatever has like I can't words. Whatever lights are on like the side with like the yellow, and they're kind of like caged up like that.
In the bomb shelter.
Bomb shelter. That's it. I was like, no, it's not the boiler room, because that's the one where the vent happens.
Yeah. So that's kind of like what I was going with John's question. Or real in theater we call them practicals, but like a real life looking light fixture that's actually functioning. It sells. It just sells.
Yeah, it sells the whole thing. Like I see that, and I don't see anything that's above me casting. Like I'm like, oh, here I am. I'm in the bomb shelter, because look at this old gritty looking light.
So that's my big goal for this year. I need more elements of that. I've been trying to find free like fluorescent workshop lights, but everyone wants to sell them.
Yeah.
I don't want to buy any.
And that's the lighting we all know from school. So yeah, that would make sense for it to be there.
It's like ultimately scenically, we like to try to add some false ceilings where we can here and there.
Mm-hmm.
If I attach lighting like that, oh my God, it's going to sell it so much more.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, perfect transition to my next question after we say hi to Mandy. Mandy, we're showering Matt with compliments, so everyone gets up on that train. So walk us through your approach to lighting a scene for a haunt. We talked about this a little bit earlier when we were going through like our impressions of the window and how you kind of foresaw that in your mind, but take us through like any given scene, like where does it start in your mind and how do we bring that to reality?
That's honestly, it's not an easy question, but at least with the school, since there was no time for like incubation, the first thought that came up in my mind was kind of like what I had to do. So like, for instance, Grossman's room, the biology room, I knew I wanted yellows and greens. I didn't know what kind of movement I wanted. I know it had to have movement, but I wasn't sure how shrill or frantic it needed to be. I also wasn't sure of the coverage. So like with that scene, it just became like I have these 6 lights. Do I use them all in this one scene, or do I spread them out? And then it ended up being like, I'll just use them all in this one scene. So like with that sort of situation, and honestly, all of Final Bell, there really wasn't much time to really incubate. But generally, I always think of the couple scenes forward, just so I know like the psychology. If I want to start bright and slowly start taking it away, or take it away like that, it really will affect your vision and your mind. Will and also amplify your proneness to being scared. So I always keep that in mind. I also keep in mind the direction of the path and the scare spot, because obviously we want to try to hide the scare spot when we can. But I also try, in most instances, I'll try to keep the end of the scene slightly brighter so you know where to go. So you see the clear exit point, you know to move to that. Obviously, if I want someone to go a little slower, I'll take that light away. But I generally try to keep the exit of the scene a little bit more bright, or some sort of contrast to the beginning of the scene. Stuff like that, especially now too with Final Bell, now that I have the time. A lot of the lighting is, I call it broad brush strokes, so big washes of light. Now that I have the time, I'll go in with the pin spots and really point out little details, so your eye will catch little things here and there to distract you. So generally, I'll do all that while we're building, or like in between the season. But with the first draft of Final Bell, that's kind of what happened. But everything I just said is what I usually keep in consideration when lighting a scene. I also try to keep color in mind too, because if I can repeat a color later down the line, make it make sense, then I can create a whole dialogue based off that color, and it helps tie everything together. So.
I mean, I think
low-key just blew my mind a little bit, to be honest.
I didn't even think about like hiding the actor spots. Like, duh, that makes sense.
Obviously, I don't think I did a good job of that this year. Because
I disagree.
But stuff like that, like one of my favorite things I like to think about is like, what's the brightest spot in a McDonald's where you order? What's the dimmest spot? The tables, because they want you to get your food and leave. And it's almost kind of just like how grocery stores put milk in the back of the store, so you have to walk through
to get to the back.
Well, it's like little things like that we can reflect with light and also sound. So.
Well, McDonald's wasn't ruined for me before. It is now. I know all the dirty secrets.
Industry secrets.
It's the psychology of light. I love it.
It's funny though that again, like we'd never even until this very moment, I don't think we'd ever thought about that before, even though it seems like
a no-brainer.
Like, now.
I didn't until my college professor told me that. I was like, whoa, okay.
And it's funny too because Dark Acres, John's home haunt, vividly I remember the lattice where someone hides in that walkthrough. Right. And the same thing, like it comes so natural to you guys who are kind of building the experience. Like, we're going to keep this area dark so that an actor has an easier time hiding there.
Yeah.
It doesn't even register to me. I walk in and I'm like, what a pretty scene. I really like this. And I don't even think that corner is dark for a reason, or that corner is well lit for a reason.
And like Bliss's scene is just blasted with light because there's nowhere for her to hide.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. No, John actually did that pretty well in his home haunt couple plays. I'm thinking about the moon room with the wolf, how dark it was in there, and someone could hide. Yeah, I mean, you work with what you. I think with what you had, and the fact that you didn't think you didn't have the time to get into the details. I mean, I guess the wide cast did a good job of still selling it, for sure.
I try my best.
Well, you already kind of touched on this very loosely, but
we're switching from sight to sound for a second.
Boop. What about sound design? Does that come before or after in the grand scheme of things?
For me, generally after. I always think about sound last. I mean, unless I know, like, it's very rare. I'll have like, oh, I need this sound right here. Doesn't happen often, but when it does, that's generally like this whole subwoofer thing. But sound design, again, I kind of come up with after. Like, I'll have ideas. While we were building the school, I had ideas of like small elements within like a scene, and then I just had to find those elements and start piecing random things together on the computer just to see what I liked and what I didn't like. I like to try to develop more courtesy to sound design and start being more timely and more open to just playing around with it and just have different options more readily available. But I usually kind of wait for the last minute, at least right now, because I need to change that. But I just like to find like cinematic sounds that I can kind of mush together, or I'll find like some of the music I listen to is actually scary, so I'll try to find little bits and pieces of some of those tunes and try to interweave it with some cinematic stuff. So
you need to find a cool place to kind of Easter egg your band into the haunt.
It wouldn't work. I don't think, unless it's like coming out like a little student.
Yeah. Put in a little radio in like the janitor shack or something. It would be perfect.
Yeah, that would work.
But then Carroll County will come after me for being demonic with metal music. So we'll see.
Oh.
Nonsense.
Oh.
If they can't prove it, it didn't happen.
Right.
So even though I know the Dark Maze was like a consolation for trying to cover some ground without having to put too much like stuff on the, build out more scenes, but the sound in there is terrifying. So, I don't know if it's a bunch of layered things together, but it's genuinely scary.
That's a song from a band that I discovered in middle school that I fell in love with. It's called I think it's called Sinana. But the band is called Sun, Sunn. And basically the band is just two guitar players. And they usually play with like 6 to 10 guitar amp rigs. So it's just brutal sound. But they'll do like stuff like that. They'll do more guitar drone centric things, but they'll also just play with like, I think that main sound is literally a detuned cello, slowly bowed.
Wow.
The other like shrilly sounds are a rubber mallet or a rubber, I I guess you call it a mallet, but what you would play like an xylophone or a vibraphone with.
Yeah.
Being scraped down a gong. Stuff like that. Mic'd close. And then the subwoofer is its own like low end drone thing. I found that works best for the sub.
Yeah.
So,
wow, that's wild. I never picked up that it was like musical instruments. If
I could find musical instruments to do the job, I'm always going to choose that before I do digital.
Yeah.
That's just my being, because it's just more raw and it's more, I guess, organic and human in that way, even though it doesn't sound
like it's so scary.
Yeah, I was going to say,
because it's not fakey sounding.
Think about, as I am just now and have spent the last few minutes thinking about how Koyaanisqatsi would sound in a dark maze.
That's true.
And you'd be like, what the hell?
That actually would be so scary. We should play. I will send you that, Matt. See if you can put it somewhere.
Do you know Koyaanisqatsi?
I think it's
yeah, it weird. It's just like
it was inflicted on us in high school. It was not something we sought out.
I think it's an actual like feature film, but it's literally I think like 45 minutes of like different scenes and like this singer just going.
It's just a long, like throaty chant music video, basically.
So that band I was telling you about, Sun, will also mix that in with their other crazy sounds, and it's just like too much.
Yeah, yeah.
They'll also like mic giant church bells up close and barely hit it, so you just get the resonant sound, and it'll just last for minutes. It's crazy. So I don't know. I love exploring real organic stuff before I do the digital stuff.
Oh,
that's the musician in you, for sure.
That's it.
All right. So,
it went to two different
comments. Well, you'll have to read into the second comment. So there's a lot of trial and error involved with the haunt industry. We know this from personal experience as well as from adjacent experience. Have you ever come up against an insurmountable obstacle that is something that just wasn't going to work and had to adapt?
I mean, yeah, I guess, again, going back to the first night's vacation, I had outlets that worked, outlets that didn't work. So within the hour before the show opened, I ran around and just did my best to find what was working and try to reconnect things to get as much of the show up as possible. And I did it to the extent I could. So that was me adapting. Obviously, I mean, there's been moments where like the idea hasn't worked, and that's okay. So I'll just scrap the idea, give it a little bit of time, and then come back to it and not force something that I won't like. Especially, at least at Laurel, I had time, which was cool. In between shows and whatnot, I could just kind of explore different things, which I really enjoyed doing. But I mean, like, there's definitely like physical things. Like, I have lights at the school that I use that initially I was going to mount on top of the walls that are just too big. So that didn't work. So I had to come up with another game plan, just to make them fit. So I haven't experienced anything way too extreme. I think other than this vacation thing, I would say Purge at Laurel this past year. There's just the amount of power issues. I did what I could. It was hell on earth. But I just kind of did what I could. Oh yeah, Mandy was there for the power issues too.
I'm so sad we just missed
makeup.
the upside down.
Here, I have a video of it.
It's like flick, flick, flicker, flick, flick, flicker.
The other day.
And the makeup still looked awesome.
It did.
It was so good.
We crushed it, and I felt so bad for that because there was just nothing I could do.
Yeah, I mean, that was totally out of your hands, dude. That was.
So this is it's a mess, but this is my tech room area. This is gonna play. Oh, there it goes.
Yep. It was its own light show.
Yeah,
it's wild.
7 seconds of video, but yeah, I remember it was actually worse the following night, Saturday. I pulled up to the building. I could see it from the parking lot. I was like, oh God. And then when I went to turn on the show would just turn on, off the whole thing. So it was even worse. So I was just like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. And then luckily BG&E came in and had it fixed at like 5 something.
When you go on at 7, yeah.
Yeah, by the time we got there, it was mostly resolved. But I am a little bit sad we missed this chaotic chapter in the journey.
Well, we didn't miss it. We were there, but like we had arrived like after. That was the day. I think we do Harrah's and then Final Bell. Yeah.
And we normally do it in that direction. Everyone else does Final Bell and then Harrah's, but because we're so close to Final Bell, we're like, well, if we do Harrah's first, then we can just like, it's so easy to go home after Final Bell.
Yeah.
So we always wind up missing people on the road who are going the opposite direction with all the reviewers and all of our friends from other haunts.
Sure.
And in this case, we missed a fun memory
of doing makeup in the dark.
I don't think it's a fun memory for Matt, but
I think it was
it's a story. It's a story.
I just opened, and those people couldn't tell, and I was like, okay, sure.
I mean, honestly, if you hadn't have said, well, we lost power, and so if you notice things aren't working, that's why, I probably wouldn't have even noticed.
Dude, there's kind of like, I mean, a very sad, dark chapter of my life was spent in the food service industry, and there is such a thing as acceptable losses. Like when you hit a point mid-shift where things are going wrong at 3 different tables and things are going okay at the other 3 tables, you're like, I'm not going to save those 3 tables. They're just done. There's no tip there. I'm going to focus on what I can save, and that's what you got to do. Like that is a life lesson from the
exactly, and like that's another reason why I wanted to take this journey. I wanted these life lessons, and I want to build my character more, and I just, if it helps me be a better person, then I'm down. If it helps me gain more knowledge to help others, I'm way down. But like that was a big thing, especially that incident. It's just like, hey, you did what you could. You just kind of got to let it be. Everything's going to be fine. People are happy, and that's what matters at this point in time. Again, I kind of mentally checked out, but that's something I'm working on. It's still hanging out positive.
I felt bad that we showed up
and
we're like adding things to your plate.
I think you were still there where it mattered, but if you needed to like just like the thing is like you said, hey, you guys know your way around, just go do your thing. Like that's fine. Like that's all it.
I was just mostly sad. I really want everyone just to see the full thing, you know.
Well, you had spent however long stringing up thousands of lights, and I can understand why it was like, no, some of them aren't. The lights aren't twinkling, Clark. You know, like it was.
They twinkled a little bit.
So I can see why that was disappointing.
Again, I need more growth for myself to be able to handle that fine, you know. So that's just something I chose to, an element of this that I chose to want to take on, is to learn more about myself, and I don't know, just be better and help inform other people when I can. So
yeah, you survived it.
Assuming there is no power surge or downed line, what would a typical show night look for you personally?
So I usually get there early. I'm usually there by 2 at the latest. I set up the food station, snack station, water station, make sure that's all good to go. I'll power on the haunt. I will look at every single light, make sure it's doing what it's supposed to do, pointed where it's supposed to point. I check to make sure props and walls and everything that's there structurally is still secure. If there's any messes, I clean them up. Once that's all done, I just stand by for actors and makeup to show up, and for Bliss to show up as well. Usually when that happens, it's pretty automated. I'll have my placement list pretty much done by then and have that good to go. Usually that is changed by like 5:45, 6. If someone's not showing up, then I have to move people around. But Rob and I usually get that done really quickly, and I think we've developed the correct flow and position priority for the show that gives it the momentum it needs in those situations. And then from there, usually around 6, right at 6, I'll turn on sound, and then I walk through and check all the sound, double check like animatronics too on there. Then make sure front of house has what they need, make sure actors are good to go. I'll try it if I can. If it's not a crazy night, I'll do like a quick little pump up, send them to their scenes. Obviously Christmas I couldn't do that.
Yeah.
And then once we're open, I'll have Rob do the initial walkthrough. He will let me know when we're good, and then we'll open up the house. And then pretty much from that point, it's fully automated. Like Bill at the front knows what to do. Rob knows what to do. All the actors are good to go. Occasionally they'll forget water, so we'll go in and give them water and whatever they need. Other than that, it's pretty much good to go. And I'll stand by for any issues. If there's an error that needs to be fixed or something, I'm there ready to go. Something I need to be better about is doing quality checks. The past several times the haunt's been on, I've kind of let it be, and I'll let Rob tell me what's going on, because obviously he and I have known each other for a long, long time, so I trust what he says. If he tells me there's an issue or if something's not working, then I'll go in and check it out and give some feedback. But usually, again, I kind of just like hang out and stand by ready for anyone who needs assistance. But this year I'm going to walk through more. So.
Well, I'll add one more thing that I know you do, because every time we visited Final Bell, I saw you doing this. You'll also regularly check on the guest experience on their way out.
Yeah, I'll let Rob take that lead in terms of initiating the conversation. Mm-hmm. If he's not there, then I will. I just would like to hear if there's anything I could improve upon. I'd like to know. But I also I really enjoy hearing people speak about it, and whether it be positive or negative, anything feedback wise is important to me. So,
and I think it speaks volumes of you that you genuinely care that people had a good time, not necessarily from like a revenue perspective, but from like a, is my vision actually making an impact on you? And again, I only heard good things being said every time that question was asked.
Critical to my being. Like I feel like whether it be through haunting or through music, I feel like my purpose is to help transport people, or even theater when I was doing theater. So if I hear that I've helped transport somebody out of their world into the world we've created for a brief moment, then that to me that's a win. Even if it's a brief moment, that's all I care about. It's so satisfying to hear stuff like that, but again, that's kind of, I feel like, been my adventure in life. So,
and you're good at it.
Yeah.
Trying to see what works and what doesn't work.
Also, do you have like the EVP pod set up in your apartment?
Oh, that's very ghost in the house.
So that's my African gray parrot. He's trying to get attention. I did partially cover his cage. So when we put him to bed every night, we have to put on like a little sheet for him.
Our friend does the same thing with a pet bird.
Yeah.
But I put that sheet on him before the interview just in case, because he does this really crazy shrill sound.
Well, if that happens, then now we'll know, and we won't. Just
now that I know what it is, it's fine. I was like,
No, he's doing the cute sounds right now, but he will do the bad sound, and you'll know. So the cover was to prevent bad sound. We'll take this. This is good. This is good sound.
No, good sound. No,
it's actually the microwave he's trying to do right now.
Oh, that makes sense.
That's what I thought it was. I was like, oh, the microwave's going off. It's fine.
It'll happen a couple times a year. I'll put something in the microwave and he'll just sink. The spaces in between each press is on point. And it's the sequence amount is the same too. So he won't do one before me, or he won't end early.
Knows it.
He'll just do it. And it's just like, whoa.
there was a small part of me that was like, the only reason I brought attention to it was because I was like, dude, if that's your fire alarm, like you should probably go.
Those were the two things I thought. I was microwave, or is there a fire alarm?
I think it's really funny. I didn't even notice it until you said something.
Well, that's because you're just
noise blind.
No,
yeah.
I just mad ADHD. I'm like, what is happening?
Squirrel?
Yeah.
No, he wants. So.
He'd being good. He's just like, I know you're still awake, and I'm letting you know that I'm still here.
Also, he knows everything's good.
Yeah, everything's good. You're just imitating the microwave. I mean, it could be like, I don't know. There's people who like teach their birds like really like vulgar phrases and stuff. He could be saying really nasty.
He knows when I'm mad, so he'll say the S word. He started learning the F bomb, but he ended at the U, so he never got the consonants, which worked out.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that's what TV does when they want to do it, but they don't have the license
Yeah.
to do it.
Yeah.
So what is apart from, energy failures or surges, what is a challenge most people wouldn't expect about running a pro haunt at scale?
Something that I learned a lot that was challenging for me was staffing. I've never dealt with staffing before. Obviously, front of house is way more simple than running the show. But for me, like learning people and learning what they excel in and placing them in spots where they can excel in was definitely a huge learning curve for me. I think I ended up learning pretty good and pretty quick, but that whole process was actually really scary to me. And it had me freaked out for quite a bit. So yeah, definitely staffing and momentum was not something I was prepared for. I was initially really scared about permitting process because I didn't know anything about that. But ended up being pretty simple, at least Carroll County wise. Same with like fire marshal. When we submitted the plans, they liked the plans. So something else.
I mean, staffing is a big one that I think a lot. I don't think that's come up yet.
No.
Some of these questions we do ask just about everyone who comes on because everyone has a different answer, and that one is I think that's the first time we've heard staffing as a.
Especially if you were, your background was a lot of behind the scenes stuff, or you were not in like actor management roles or anything like that. So now having to be in charge or have the final say in where someone goes, or who's going to replace who. I mean, you had, we know that you had a really strong actor playing, Professor Grossman for the first half of your season or most of it, and then had to, find someone who could also take that scene and make it their own. So I know that there had to be discussions, and I'm sure that was a challenge at some point to overcome.
No, that again, I just like, for me, at least with it being involved to this extent, I've never done that, but it all pretty much fell on me. Obviously, I would look for feedback from Rob when I could, just because he reads people really quick too, and he kind of feels people out and understands them really quick. So towards the end of the season, we definitely collaborated more, but at least at the beginning, I definitely felt more pressure on trying to nail it the first time, which again, expectation, I didn't have to nail it the first time. It's okay. It's okay to play around and try people in different spots and see what they do, if they do something different or do better elsewhere. So I definitely, again, at the beginning, kind of psyched myself out on that.
And not only, but, from put this way, when you've been a person for a while, you come to grips with the fact that different personality types are like oil and water.
Yeah.
So you also kind of have to, it's hard, especially when you used to kind of, just being told where to go more or less, or kind of only being responsible for yourself, to suddenly have to sort out like this person is probably not a good pairing for this person. Someone said something about their hamster earlier and now they're all upset, like moving people around and kind of taking almost a parent role. Like it can be challenging from that standpoint too. And I 110%
you're
sympathize with that level of
you're basically like HR and everything else too. Like you have to handle any disputes or whatnot that come up.
You are well and truly the principal of Final Bell Haunted Schoolhouse.
I guess in theory, yeah. But yeah, at least if for the time being, that would definitely be my best answer to that question. I'm sure if you asked me that next year, I would probably have a different answer.
I mean, I think that's your truth.
But
and for what it's worth, I mean, look at this class photo.
I mean, I think
you built a pretty awesome team in a very short amount of time. All of them incredibly talented.
So proud of all of them. They really like my favorite part of this whole thing was dress rehearsal, because at that point it had just been walls. It was blank walls, and they got painted real quick, and then bam, there were people in there. I was just like, whoa. So seeing, again, like how I called it a machine earlier, but seeing the machine actually be on and living for the first time at dress rehearsal was crazy. Definitely one of the coolest things ever in my life, but also one of the best feelings I've ever had. So,
and rightfully so.
It was definitely wild, but no, the cast. Oh my God, I'm so thankful. They rocked it. They really did rock it, and I think they made it a very memorable first year.
I think, yeah. So. As a repeat customer, sorry, I'm distracted by YouTube being stupid. As a repeat customer, I will say they nailed it like every single night.
I think I know what happened.
Tim tried to put the next comment in, and YouTube was like, "This is spam. We filtered
YouTube
it. It's like it's our own comment."
Homie, I set the spam filter. So, what do you think is the biggest misconception about haunts and/or haunting that was a slash and it was rejected?
Didn't like
that you wish you could correct?
Okay, that's also difficult. Let me reread it. Hold up. Misconception about haunts. Is this too? Is this supposed to be towards haunters or guests?
I'll leave that up to your interpretation. Yes. I kind of feel like
paths here. I would say, I guess, for haunters, if you're like, for instance, if you're a scare actor, if you don't scare them right off the bat, it's okay. It's gonna be okay. I've done it. I would beat myself up for no reason if something I tried didn't work. But it's okay. It happens. Don't be afraid to try something new. Play around. If your character can fit a silly element, I would try to fit that in. If you can't get a scare, try to get a laugh. I guess also for customer, it's a haunted house, but it's a world. That's the bad sound.
I was expecting it to be a little bit more
in person. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, I would agree. I would never mind words.
But I feel like there's, at least from a customer perspective, I feel like sometimes there's oh well, haunts usually have this, so this haunt's going to be this. It's just like, no, everything is different. Everybody has their own flavor and style, even though we could be trying to do the same sort of idea. But again, everyone has the same sort of, or there's different styles and tastes. But again, at the end of the day, it's world building. It is theater. I think that's what I'm looking for. I feel like some theatrical elements have been lost. I don't know what span of time, but I feel like haunts nowadays kind of don't pay tribute to those original roots, because that's what a haunted house is. It's theater that you're walking through. So I feel like there's still the expectation of your standard like scare and gimmicks, but again, at the end of the day, it's a world, a story, and everyone's there to be transported.
Those were two good answers from two different perspectives.
Also, one of the things I'm most passionate about in the haunted industry is the immersion, like being transported. It's not that a typical. I mean, I'm thinking all the way back to like, you know, the state fair setup where you would just like run through hard walls if you were lucky, sheets if you weren't, and people would stand around saying boo. Like there's a place for that. And
absolutely.
Not like that's not effective in certain contexts, but the reason the haunted house industry in particular, outside of the haunted industry as a whole, is such a draw for us is because at our core, it was adjacent theme parks. Like we were theme park people before we were haunt people.
Yeah.
And it is like, it's the theme park, it's the thrill and immersion of a
sight
theme
lines,
park.
Lighting,
we're both
textures,
theater backgrounds too, and film background and whatnot. So yeah, it is storytelling. Like it's that perfect blend of all of those things. And I think I would much rather walk through a haunt that did a really good job telling a story, but didn't make me scream once.
Exactly. Yeah.
Walk through, get
like almost a dark ride with people.
4 times. Yeah,
exactly.
Like I would rather almost always rather ride a really cool dark ride that showed me something really cool and told a cool story than ride the tallest, fastest roller coaster. That's exactly right, Matt.
I would still also like to ride the tallest, fastest roller coaster.
It's not going to be my favorite just because it was the tallest and the fastest. It's going to be my favorite. Like we talk all the time in our theme park that we want. The ones we talk about the most have that a little extra sauce. We like for Bolton. It's got dark ride on. It's got story. It's got theming. We like Hagrid's. It's the theming package up the waz. You know, we like Baron at Efteling. Like those are the ones that stick in our minds. Yes, I rode King Dakar before it got demolished, but am I sad I'm never going to ride it again? Honestly, not really. It ripped my face off every time I rode it. But so
now we're stirring up a whole different section of the audience.
I know.
One of the questions I'm ready.
But Matt, being our friend in both the theme parks and the haunt industry, is speaking our language, is what I'm saying. I stand by what I said. I'd rather go through a haunt that was so cool but didn't really scare me than just be like, I got jump scared like 4 times.
I also, to go back to what you were saying about like if you can't scare people, make them laugh, and there's like value in that.
And that's fun.
Or creep them. I don't know, something that leaves a quick impression.
And then tell the broader story. Like it's disrespectful to say you're a cog in a machine, but like on a narrative level, you kind of are. Like you have to move people from one scene to the next in a believable, immersive way.
Yeah. You can scare them, you can make them laugh, or you can gross them out. Like those are kind of like your choices.
You obviously know this because you saw me in costume. Not the broader public might not yet know this because we haven't done anything video wise on the channel. I acted at Laurel's House of Horror for their Valentine's event on Saturday, and you may or may not have noticed this about me. I'm not so scary as a person, and I'm not so great at conveying those terrifying, shrill yells that really make people jump out of their skin. Yeah. So I went all the way into comedy, and I was actually in the first room of the haunt, like the opening scene of the Carlisle. So people get scared out of their skin by the, what's it called? The horn.
Mm-hmm.
Burp, burp.
And I instantly can tell who's jumped and who hasn't, because you'll hear people scream as they're walking in, and I'm like, first timers, excellent. And then I can tell a whole different story and I can set people up. And I really liked that. Like, I was never the scariest person in the haunt, and I was never going to be, but I did leave some lasting impressions on people on Saturday, and that stuck with me too. So
That's so sick, man. I'm so happy you did that.
It
I'm
was
really happy you had that experience in the first scene.
yeah, it was a
Way
good.
different than being in the middle or at the end. It's so different.
It
Yeah.
was good.
and you were at the end the last time you
I was.
acted, too.
I've acted in theater twice, and theater is beautiful, but it can be hard to interact with people beyond like.
Sure.
There's a lot going on. I think him being in the lobby of the Carlisle, it was a little bit quieter, and you could actually like hear what he was saying, which I thought
Which was a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. And even like apparently he even got like some people, including John, who admitted it, John from Dark Acres, like they were so distracted listening to Tim talking that they didn't notice the animatronic came out, and then that got him. So it's like, you know how to like, you can play the scene a little bit.
Well, there were a couple bits that I tried, and one of them, if someone jumped at the horn walking in, then my immediate first response was, "Oh, you're in for a long journey if sound is going to do you in."
You jump at everything you hear.
And other times, if people walked in looking all like stone-faced, like they didn't twitch, then I'm like, okay, so the goal is going to be to make you smile. Then.
Yes.
And that was what I leaned into.
That's kind of like me, what drew me to wanting to only do Q line is because of that specific thrill, where it ultimately became, I have to stand there for a second and read this group of people and pick them out and make my choice. And I really miss being able to do that. But like that thrill was so exciting because you never know, like you could see it in your play out in your mind and you could be like, oh, I'm like 85% correct on this, I think. And then you try it doesn't work. And it's like, oh, whatever.
Yeah, next one.
It could work. Ultimately, you never know. So I loved that thrill of Q line. Also helped too. Like you could, in that environment, you could tell who's already angry. So it's easier to poke their buttons out there and then get rid of them before they go inside the haunt. But I don't know. There's little things like that I enjoyed, and really, it's that immersion, it's the theater, but it's the humanity, it's the raw psychology and real time.
Yep.
There's a whole, I saw like a trend going around on TikTok and Instagram about like Q line acting. Like there's a whole subculture of the haunt industry that's like Q acting is the top of the pyramid for me. And I don't think it necessarily is or should be for everyone, but I think it's cool that people aspire.
Yeah, I mean, because you do like, you know, when you're in a scene and you have a trigger, like that's your job to hit the trigger and to use the trigger. Or if you're in a scene with no trigger and you got to carry, but then, you know, there's lulls, there could be breaks. Q line is, you got to stay on.
Everybody sees you.
Yep. You can't break. Your only break is if you walk away. And then you walk away, you better swing that chainsaw around and scare someone on your way out.
Yeah, that was also my first experience acting on the Midway this time around. And I got, for lack of a better word, stuck there for a while because people kept stopping me to take pictures with me. And I was like,
oh yeah,
I see why people like doing this. I do, but also I'm tired.
My problem is I can't keep my I have a hard time keeping like a consistent voice. So like in the scene, I can try different things and no one knows I've tried a different voice. But then when I'm in the Midway, I'm like, oh no, I gotta remember what I was doing. That's why I'm always impressed with like Angelica as Miss Laurel. She just once she transforms. She is Miss Laurel until she pops off.
And your principal at
he was
Final Bell.
Marty was in. We actually had to kind of like, hey Marty, style back home. Marty talked it, but like there were a couple instances where it was like, hey, just that, don't do that, please.
The only time I ever saw him break, though, and it was literally just for a second, was when it was just us in that room, and he was like, "I gotta get some water before I yell at you some more." That was the only time I heard his real voice the entire season.
One of my top favorite acting memory was working queue line with Mandy and Alejo. And Mandy, Alejo was out there as Carlisle, and then Mandy was out there in a clown. It was like a motorized wheelchair, but it was clownified with balloons and shit. And he was just pestering the hell out of her. It was so fun. Like, I was trying so hard to not laugh. I eventually had to walk away because pulled it in. It was so funny. It's those little moments I just live for. So,
well, as we're moving towards a finale here, what advice would you give to someone who's looking to break into the haunt industry? Assume they're all the way outside of it and have just come out of a haunted house and asked about your thoughts on how they could get started.
Sure. So I would recommend, I would do some research to see what haunts are local to you, and I guess send them an email and try to see if you can get into volunteer, I guess, or potentially act during the season. Do all the actor trainings, or if you want to start doing run a house, do that. Then build upon that relationship. If you're looking to help with build or to help with tech, I would definitely recommend mentioning that upon with the first couple of get-togethers or trainings or whatever it may be, and just kind of get on their radar, pick their brain a little bit as to what they're doing and how they do it, and just offer to help. And then just once you offer to help, everything will happen. I promise. You just gotta reach out. That's kind of what happened with me. I reached out to help with acting, and I told them, I was like, hey, I like theater. I do theater. I do lighting for theater. Are you interested in any help with that? And they said, sure. And then it just grew from there. So,
and from an outsider's perspective, because as much as we like to think that we're part of the haunt industry, we really are outsiders. More often than not, we're experiencing what's been built for guests.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And from that standpoint, even kind of removed from the goings-on day-to-day operations of the haunted houses themselves, I can still tell you there's peaks and valleys. Your journey has highs and lows, and that's it's the same as any other industry. Don't get discouraged if you hit a low on your journey to the next peak.
And if you break in with acting and you find that acting's really not for you, like you said, Matt, ask what else you can help with, because you may be maybe you're really good at helping build things or managing people or something. There's so many roles. Maybe you've got a hidden talent. You can start working on makeup or something. There's so many roles, and not all of them have to be necessarily related to acting. But that's how I knew. Seems like a lot of people.
Yeah. Again, for me, it was just reaching out, and then obviously at the time for me it was volunteering. So I think that would still play today, is be open to volunteering a little bit.
Yeah.
It's just, that's how you're going to get to know people. That's how you're going to be able to communicate more about yourself and your skills and your wants and desires to those other people.
Yeah. Nope. That's good advice.
And I agree with all of it. Any final thoughts, memories, stories that you had in mind to share, or that you wanted to share? No pressure. The answer can be no.
No.
And at the end of the day, this is just, it's what we do. It's supposed to be fun. If there's ever a point in time where I'm not having fun, then there's an issue. And I'm scared of that. But for all of us involved, whether it be creative, whether it be acting, or whether it be a customer perspective, it's just supposed to be fun. So just have fun, go explore, If there's something you've never done haunt wise or scary themed wise that you're interested in doing, just book it. Go do it. I guess those are my final thoughts.
I dig it. So I know that Final Bell is just out of its maiden season. Does that sound right?
Maiden voyage.
Debut season?
Debut season, I
Maiden
think.
voyage, debut season. I kind of combined them.
I was going to say virgin season, but that sounds a little worse, doesn't it?
It's also true. All of these things and more are true. Where can people go to follow along with your journey and check out your work, as well as Final Bells?
So I am on Instagram as MM Tillett, Tillett, all one thing. It's a lot of straight lines. I apologize. And then the haunt is Final Bell Haunt on Instagram as well as Facebook. Don't really have much updates on Final Bell at the moment, as Carlos and I are trying to figure out what we're looking and wanting to do for upgrades. But I'm trying to be better about my personal Instagram and trying to be more haunt centric and process centric on there this year. So I'd like to document more. So.
We can help with that.
Yes.
And also, just to verify, neither you nor the haunt currently has like a TikTok or any other platforms that I'm not.
I keep being told to make a TikTok. I haven't done it.
We're too uncool.
We're too cool.
We're too uncool for TikTok, is what I meant to say.
I think the reality is like we missed the boat on TikTok. Like it's
also TikTok is kind of in its own weird journey right now.
Oh, dude, whatever happened to Vine?
Fine. I don't know. I think if you're not already kind of established on TikTok, it's a little late to join the boat there. There's also some people are like rage quitting the app right now. We don't need to get into why, but
there'll be another app.
That's what's happening.
There's always another app. Well, if anything does pop up, we will attempt to retroactively add it to the description of this video. But in the meantime, I believe that what's that company in the background?
Oh yeah, Bliss here.
Did we see?
Bliss has been building Legos this entire time.
I've been doing Legos in the background.
Legos. Hey, Bliss.
We love you guys so much.
What's the name of the Lego set? It's
I'm building the Tranquil Garden set that Matt and his mother got me for Christmas. It's very beautiful, and I love it.
Yes, do that.
Live your dream.
Live the dream.
All right.
Wait, Mandy, what is this comment supposed to be?
Mother does Tim and Katie.
But then it says I meant neither.
Neither does Tim and Katie. I think
I don't know
in response to a statement that we lost track of.
I've lost the plot on that comment, Mandy. But thank you.
Well, as we continue to get sidetracked, we will go ahead and close it out. I think we're on a brief. Yes, we're on a brief hiatus for the next live stream. Normally we would have one every 2 weeks, but we're going to take a pause for the next cycle, and our next live stream will actually be on March 17th. We will still be doing Making Monsters, and I think that John is our next guest.
John!
Who's been a very active participant in this particular live stream.
Awesome.
Oh, we don't have TikTok.
That makes sense.
That is
yes.
correct. Yes.
Okay, follow it now, Minnie.
Yes.
The mother thing really.
I saw that too. I was like, what does this mean?
I don't know.
Mother knows best.
But I'm uneasy. All right, y'all. Well, thank you, Matt, so much for joining us tonight. It's been a pleasure as always.
Thank you guys so much for having me. It's been awesome.
Yeah, we love to chat about these cool things.
We haven't
answered coherently. I hope everything made sense.
Absolutely,
No.
and we haven't been a part of your journey for that long, but you as a haunter in various forms have grown so much in just the time that we've been a part of your life. So
it's wild. It's awesome, but it's wild.
Yeah,
so it's been really cool to watch, and we're super excited to see what's next for you
and
guys.
we're just so proud of what you put together and what your team put together, and shout out to Bliss for amazing costumes as well. Yeah, we're just so excited for draft 2. Can't imagine.
Me too.
Imagine it won't just knock our socks off.
Well, thank you all so much for joining. It's been fun as usual. And again, we will be back in, I guess, 4 weeks, but there will be more vlogs dropping in between now and then. So if you're looking forward to the Making the Monster series, that will continue after a brief pause. And if you're not, and if you're just watching us for fun, guess what? More fun around the corner. Until the next time, I've been Tim.
I'm Katie.
This has been Matt Tillett. Be sure to follow him, and Final Bell. And we will see you very soon. Every day.
It's a new adventure.
Sometimes I botch the outro. Good night, you guys. Matt, we'll catch you backstage in just a sec.
Yep. Bye.
Bye.